What's up, everyone? This is Todd. I'm here with Trenell, as always. And it's July 23rd, 2017. We're at episode 58 of a weekly gaming news show.
What's going on, everybody? It seems like we just left you.
Not
Has it
too
been a
long
week
ago.
already? No?
No, not quite. Maybe.
Maybe not. Yeah, it's probably been a week for some of you. But yeah, we were live on Tuesday because of the events that went down at EVO 2017. I attended, and then Boogie just went on like vacation. So that's why we're coming to you guys so soon. But just to remind everybody, our normal schedule is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern is when we normally go live. If there's like a holiday or something, then we normally go live the next day with the upload on either YouTube or your favorite podcasting app going live the very next day at noon Eastern time. So that is our current schedule, just in case you guys didn't know. But welcome back to the podcast. It is another Sunday, which means we got more gaming news that we want to discuss with you. So before we get into that, it is a tradition over at a weekly gaming news show for us to do the weekly icebreaker, and that is a segment of the show where we just discuss or ask a question, and just to get our a reaction or impressions of a certain gaming topic. But sometimes we like to go off the cuff, and we've been going off the cuff a lot lately because we did so last week when we talked about Spider-Man Homecoming. We kind of just like nerded out on that for a moment. But this week I want to talk about something that's a little near and dear to my heart, and that is the cancellation of the long-running Sonic the Hedgehog comic book by Archie Comics. Now, it was reported a long time ago, and I remember we actually talked about it, that the comic was on a hiatus, like an extended hiatus. Ever since February, there hasn't been any Sonic comics to come out. And if you're unaware, like usually like when comics are in production, they'll have like the covers and everything is already ready to go, like for months in advance. So they already had like covers and variants up until like June or something.
Yep, and they just because they had a story arc in progress, right?
Yeah, they were in the middle of a story arc, two story arcs. I believe they were doing the Mega Drive or Overdrive story arc, and then as far as the adaptations, they were at the end, or they had just wrapped up the Sonic Unleashed adaptation. But yeah, it was announced this week that the comic book is canceled. It will not be returning. But this isn't necessarily terrible news because there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of news that has come out that I haven't really been able to keep up with because it's coming out so rapidly. I really think that Sega's going to go with another publisher, and we'll probably be hearing about that very soon.
They actually did.
Okay.
IDW.
Okay.
Yep. So they did go with IDW, and it seems like, on the surface it seems like Archie used Sonic, and they have no longer any use, so they kick him to the curb. But it looks like Archie's comics is moving towards a more adult themed or adult
oriented
storytelling. Blah blah blah. Adult oriented storytelling. They released Riverdale, the TV show. is definitely skewed for adults, young adults, and is not Sonic. Sonic doesn't fit that particular genre. So for them to keep publishing Sonic when they want to move towards more grown-up content, it makes sense. But it definitely, the way it was done doesn't seem very very well.
I'm not sure who's at fault for how everything just like kind of like unraveled. I do know for a fact that Archie Comics did not make an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con because of the public fallout between them and Sega. We already know that Sega was there talking about Sonic Mania and like other things.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of just wanted to reminisce about it because I actually own quite a few of the comic books. I mean, I started actually purchasing them around the time when they were doing the Sonic Adventure adaptation. So that was actually really like a really fun time to get into comics, and Sonic is like a beginner comic. It's a pretty linear story, not a whole lot of like madness going on. They did have like kind of a reboot a few years ago with the Genesis wave, which kind of just like rebooted everything and geared the comics more toward their video game inspirations, because the comic book was kind of like its own thing, and
right.
like the video games and like the comic books, they never really like spoke with each other unless they were doing like an adaptation. It were kind of like two separate continuities. But it is a sad day for people that were fans of it. But with them going to another publisher, I did hear that when as they're moving on to IDW, they will not be continuing their current runs of the series. So we're gonna get like a fresh new start.
Yeah, fresh new start.
Yeah, it's gonna be fresh new number ones coming out of IDW. So anybody who was a fan of the Overdrive or Mega Drive series, sorry to hear, but they will not be finishing that story arc, which is unfortunate, because it was actually really good and it was drawn spectacularly. Yeah, that was some spectacular drawing.
Yeah, and I know they is noted in like one of the articles that they're trying to get some of the original or some of the writers and artists into IDW to work on it.
Yeah,
but we're not too sure how that's going, or if it will actually pan out.
Right. So if anything else comes of this that's substantial, I'm gonna want to talk about it. So because I'm the resident Sonic fan over here. Just look out for more news. They started back in July 1993, and February was their last issue. I believe it was issue 290.
Mm-hmm.
I think issue 290 was their very last one. Everything okay over there?
Yeah.
Sure you're not live.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Just keep going. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's still recording. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was our weekly icebreaker. If you have a topic that you would like us to discuss, or a question that you would like us to answer during the weekly icebreaker segment, make sure you hit us up. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. You can leave a comment down in the comment section on wherever you are consuming this media, whether it's your favorite podcasting app or whether it is YouTube, and we will definitely take that in consideration. And if it's a good question, we'll definitely, discuss it live on stream. So definitely hit us up. Yeah, hit us up. Because we would love to answer any questions that you guys have for us. And with that, we can go ahead and move into the next segment, which is the quick hits. Quick hits are short stories or short news topics that we want to talk about, but don't necessarily deserve a deep dive like the rest of the stories that we'll be talking about today. So let's get started with our first quick hit. Boogie, do you want to take us there, or shall I proceed?
I will take it. This is my story.
This is his domain. All right, let's go.
So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Doomfist was released for the PTR, the public test realm. They've been testing him. He actually got nerfed on one of his skills. But he is now going to be released to the public on Thursday. So this coming Thursday, download that update. You will be able to jump right into playing some Doomfist. I know somebody that found their disc. They may want to just jump in and check out Doomfist, see how he's going. But I mean, it's something we reported on a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted to give the follow up, let you know that he is coming to the production.
Yes. So Doomfist, if you've been living under a rock, or has just recently found your Overwatch disc, is the newest character, the newest hero being added to the game, absolutely free, mind you.
Yes.
And he looks dope. I really like the character design, and like that freaking gauntlet on his right arm is just a thing to behold. Like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, he just likes punch. He's a puncher. He
is a puncher. I really see our friend Ox picking up this character just because of the way that he hurts people. O is all about punching people.
The way that he hurts.
The way that he hurts is something that O is a fan of. He's a super fan of like monk type characters. So he'll just pick this guy up just based on the fact that he punches people.
Right, and he can punch them back. So like if you're close to the edge, he will knock you off the map.
Yeah, he'll knock you off the map. He has a really high pushback mechanic with his gameplay. So yeah, I'll probably pick him up because I mean I'm damn near a newbie at the game at this point. It's been so long since I played it because there's a running gag on the show that I had lost my Overwatch disc, but I recently found it inside of a Wii U game case that I never wanted to see again. But yeah, so this is actually going to be fun, and we can do some live streams over on Mixer and maybe get some like dual streaming going on. That would actually be really fun to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, this character looks dope. I may have to give him a shot because I'm pretty sure everybody else is.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard. You got to be the first one in to get them now.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna pick Doomfist and Genji. If you're not first, you're not getting them.
Yeah, that's why I never have a problem like picking Zarya. Nobody picks her for some
nobody
reason.
picks Zarya. Yeah,
Zarya is so fucking cool in my opinion. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next quick hit. What do we have?
PlayStation's firmware update 5.0 is coming. The beta sign up is available. There's no word on what's in it, but it's going to it's coming out. If you go over to the PlayStation blog, you find a little article regarding the firmware. You can sign up. I actually signed up this time.
Oh wow! They got you, huh?
Yeah, I figure I barely play the PlayStation, so if it bricks my PlayStation, it's not going to really be that huge of an issue for me.
Sign up. Right.
So
yeah, if it bricks it, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'll fix it. It's not a big deal. It's secondary everything. I don't do any kind of stream. All my streaming is on either the TV itself or the Xbox. Okay. And most games I play are on the Xbox, so whatever.
So, but what about So there's absolutely no information as to what is going to be included in it.
No, nothing at all. They haven't said a single word as to what they're adding.
Sign up for this like experimental beta that may brick your PlayStation. What's going to be on it? You'll find out. Just give us your social security. Like I don't know. I feel like
it's only 3 questions. It's 3 questions. The first question is, are you a subscriber to PS Now? And I forgot the other 2 questions, but it's 3 questions. You answer them, then they say I will send you an email to your gamer tag or your PSN ID.
So those are the parameters. You have to be subscribed to all of their garbage content. Okay, fine. You need a PS Now account. You need a PS Plus account. And there was another thing that they had.
PS View, the TV.
The View. I think there's another one.
Probably.
PS Now. What's the? Man, I think there's another one, but yeah. I don't know. I think they wouldn't send me one just because like I'm a bare minimum PlayStation player out here.
Just a PS Plus for it, so you can play online. That's it.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what I do. So whatever. But right. I did sign up for it, so I'll get back to you when it if I get in and then when it comes out. Tell you what's new.
All right. So if Boogie gets in, then we'll update you on that. Once it's been released. Yep. So let's go ahead and move on to the next quick hit. What we got?
Doom is first off is getting an update called 6.66. And then the next thing is that what they did is all of the multiplayer DLC is now free, and the game is dropped to $15, $14.99, and they made some changes on progression and on the unlocking system, how you unlock stuff. So instead of now just randomly unlocking the guns, you do specific challenges to unlock specific items.
Okay.
They changed the what do they call it? The hack system, which replaced with a rune system. Apparently, that's how you get your powers and abilities. The hack system, the powers and abilities were temporary. This new system is permanent, and I think that there's some other stuff that they did. And this free weekend is going on this weekend for PC and PlayStation. For PC and Xbox.
Okay.
The 20th through the 23rd, and then next weekend for PlayStation 4.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I actually own Doom on the PS4, and it's a really fun game. It's probably like the best game that I haven't completed like ever, because coming back from like near obscurity as far as the franchise is concerned. To the mega huge reception that it got during its launch and reveal and everything like that. I definitely need to go back and play this. I did try out the multiplayer and it really wasn't for me, but as far as the story, I feel like I'm not doing the game justice by like skipping out on the story. So that's a strike for me.
Yeah, for $15, I'll probably wind up getting this. And add it into my pile of backlog.
Yeah, add it to the backlog. Yeah, mine as well, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Doom since it was on Windows PCs and pixelated. So it makes no sense that I don't have it. And I've played Doom and I've enjoyed, loved Doom. I even like the Doom movie. however bad that was.
Oh God!
Don't yell at me.
Okay,
I enjoyed it.
Hey man, be a fan of whatever you're a fan of.
Right.
Being this a free country, like I have the option of disagreeing with you wholeheartedly.
I didn't say it was a good movie. I said I enjoyed it. I was entertained.
Okay, there is a difference. Yeah. Okay, I will respect that. So the update is Doom 6.66. Clear reference to everything that Doom is about.
Hellspawn and demons.
Yeah, pretty much. And so if you don't, and I believe if you already own the game but not the DLC will just be unlocked for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So you're getting everything, which is actually really cool. It's kind of like, and we talked about this a little bit off camera. It's kind of like the Game of the Year versions of games that used to come out. Right. Or like the Xbox Platinum Hits or something like that, right, where they will re-release it like in stores with like a brand new case and everything, and it would include like all of the DLC. So this is kind of like that, reminiscent of it at least. But
they haven't done that in years. Even towards the end of last generation, they stopped doing it.
Right.
I mean, I talked about this earlier. It's like there were games that I wouldn't buy for a price that I got into because of the Platinum Hits series.
Right. And then like this is even better because if you already own the game, and this is what used to make me salty, is like people get the game for cheaper, right, and it includes all the DLC. Like if you own the game, you already made that initial purchase, you get all of the DLC if you haven't already gotten it. So if you're like somebody like me that had put Doom on the back burner, there's even more of an incentive to dust it off and pull up and jump back in.
Yeah, like I said, it's something I will get at some point, added to the pile of games, and eventually one day maybe I'll just like go break my leg so I don't have to work for a little while and just sit and play games.
Hey man, whatever it takes. Yeah, let's move on. We have one more quick hit for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into it. What we got?
Okay, so the internet is abuzz because Nintendo's filed a trademark for the it looks like the Nintendo 64 controller.
Uh-oh.
And while people, it's just a controller, where people are linking this to, if you have the NES Classic or the SNES Classic, on top of the box, it's a frame drawn on top of the box. That's the logo that tells you what it is. So on the NES Classic, it's of course a Nintendo controller, and the same for the SNES Classic, it's the Super Nintendo controller. So when they filed this trademark, everybody's like, well, obviously it looks like an N64 Classic will be coming soon. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the pre-orders for the SNES Classic went up this week, and they sold out within hours, just like the NES Classic did. So, I mean, Nintendo's got a little bit of a cash cow with very little investment, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Nintendo releasing the N64 Classic.
No, I mean, with the success of the SNES or the NES Classic and now the SNES Classic, it only makes sense for them to continue the trend. And I mean, at least for the cartridge based consoles. I mean, I can really see them having trouble trying to recreate that magic with a GameCube. I can kind of see that being a problem. I mean, although there is the technology is already there for emulation or whatever. Right. But for the cartridge-based systems, this should be a no-brainer. I mean, I've had N64 emulation possible like on my smartphone. Like it's there, and I'm pretty sure And
that's homebrew. When Nintendo's involved with it, they have all of the proprietary code that they can use to make sure they get it right.
They get it right, yeah. So it's like perfect emulation. It's like damn near using the exact same hardware. I mean, this would be cool, but I mean, if you're a gamer like me, you probably still own your
most of the games, right?
Yeah, you still own your N64. My N64 is like right behind me. Like if I wanted to play it, I could just dust it off, pop in Mario Kart 64, and do the long jump off of Rainbow Road. That's all I have to do.
Well, they could be a gamer like me and just when the new stuff comes out, you just discard the old stuff. My Nintendo the 64 I gave away. I gave it to my younger brother. I'm pretty sure, or cousin.
Okay, well that's different. Like handing it down while you probably got like a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2 or something like that. Yeah, no. So I can understand that, but I mean, I don't know. It's cool. What I am going to be excited about is their lineup of games, because there's already there's some that you expect to be there. Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64.
Yeah, Mario 64, and then what else?
Ocarina of Time has to be there.
Yeah. Didn't they do an F-Zero 64? Didn't they do an F-Zero 64?
F-Zero X or something like that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was. But yeah, we'll have the run-of-the-mill first-party games. What's really going to be interesting is what games that they include that are not...
If they include Rogue Squadron, I'll probably buy it.
Rogue Squadron? I don't think I ever played.
The Star Wars game is a Star Wars game.
Oh man, I don't know.
It came with the expansion pack.
Oh man, I don't know. They may not be able to get that one. Yeah, those are some good ones. Those are some good ones, yeah. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, they're gonna be missing out on all of the Rare games though.
Yeah.
No. They still own those properties.
They own those IPs, right?
I forgot.
So the Donkey Kong. Oh
yeah. Donkey Kong Country probably not Killer Instinct though.
No. Oh yeah, they probably won't be able to get Killer Instinct because Microsoft owns that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, that's actually going to be really cool. Not a surprise. I mean, we kind of called the SNES Classic, so it only makes sense for them to, go with the flow and continue getting that paper.
Yep. That's it.
These things sell like hotcakes. Like even the Switch. The Switch is still like selling like I barely got my hands on one, dude.
Right.
Freaking crazy. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit.
I'm not looking forward to that once I decide to go hunting for one or two.
Dude, I had to call around like 5 stores within like a 10-mile radius and ask them if they had any, if they knew anybody that had any.
Because, what annoys me is that like nobody will accept pre-orders for it.
No.
When your next shipment's coming in, let me pre-order. They won't allow it.
Nope.
Which is bullcrap, but whatever.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But yeah, that was our quick hits. Let us know what you think about all of the stories, whether it's the first story or, this one we just talked about. Let us know what you think about it. Hit us up on social media and, debate us. Do you agree with us or do you disagree? Let us know either down in the comments or via our social media. We'd be happy to argue with you over the internet. It's our secondary hobby. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is the meat and potatoes of this podcast. And that is the top 5 news stories for the week. Yeah, see, I got it right that time. I said for the day last time. That was very, very wrong. But yeah, the top 5 news stories. These are stories that we like to talk about that kind of like dominated the headlines.
Right.
As far as gaming news is concerned. And so we kind of like just to report it and then give our opinions on it. This is more of an opinion-based podcast. We don't pride ourselves in being like the first to report. No, that's not what we do. We like to give you guys the news. Yeah, we'll never break news unless something happens on like Sunday at 6.
While we're on the air.
Yeah, or something like while we're on the air. Then we'll break it. But yeah, we don't really pride ourselves in doing that. We like reporting the news and then giving our opinion as 2 very seasoned gamers or console gamers. We like to give our opinions on the current landscape. So let's go ahead and jump into that. But before we jump into that, I almost forgot. We got to give a shout out to our sponsors, the homeboys and homegirls, mostly homeboys, I think, over at I'm on fire today. Over at newchallenger.gg. If you want to get good at your favorite fighting game, and by your favorite, I do, of course, mean either Street Fighter V or Injustice 2. Head on over to newchallenger.gg. It is a vast community filled with tons of people that will, train you or just do casual games. It's the best place to learn a new fighting game. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Street Fighter because that's one that I currently play. If you click on Ken, which is my character, not only does it give you the rundown on a lot of his like tactics and everything, but they also give you a coach that is a Discord member that can actually train you with that character. So it is a very, very awesome place to go if you want to learn. They have basic tutorials, everything that you can possibly need to get yourself started, and they also do the same for Injustice 2. They're currently in their off season as far as tournaments, because they do hold tournaments, but they're in their off season at the moment. So when that goes back up, we will have their tournament schedule posted in the description or in the show notes for you guys to check out. And entrance is free. and they usually give out small cash prizes or like books or whatever. And I think they do raffles and stuff. So it's a very, very hype scene. Definitely go and check those guys out. They were featured in Eurogamer, so definitely check them out. They are legit. And that is newchallenger.gg is the website. Join the Discord and follow them on Twitch too, because besides the tournaments, they actually do have weekly showcases and programs for you to watch and learn the ins and outs of the FGC. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, the top 5. So, this first story, what do we got, Boogie?
We got the Atari box. There's little more information out on it. If you're not unfamiliar, Atari announced around E3 that they are making a new console. That's right, Atari dug itself out of its own grave, and they are making a console. And they sent initial pictures. These are still works in progress, but they're pretty slick-looking machines if you look at them. They have HDMI cables. They have Ethernet ports. They have the modern connectors on it. The design harkens back to I'm an old head. I had an Atari 2600. It reminds me of the Atari 2600.
Yeah, that wood paneling.
Yeah, the wood paneling, but not even that. The ribs and
the
little
ridges on the top. Yeah.
Yep, and the little hump on the back. Because on the Atari 2600, if you're looking at the image, the little hump on the back is where you plug the cartridge.
Right.
in.
Yeah, that's where the cartridge went. Yep.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. I'm still interested to see what it's actually going to be. If it's because they mentioned that it's going to be able to play all your favorite classics as well as current games or contemporary games, or I forgot the wording they used. But so it seems like they're going to have some kind of emulation or something in there to play original Atari 2600 games for the 10 people that want to do that. But they may be playing other games. I just want to see if this is going to be like some kind of Steam box. Is it going to be like a Android app box, like what was that one company that had the little Android console?
Oh God, is it Ouya or some shit like that?
Ouya, that's right. Yeah. Like if it's gonna be like a Ouya type thing, it'd be interesting to see what it is. But from the looks of it, it looks like it looks pretty.
Yeah, no, the design is spot on. It's definitely like a modern take on an old classic. But just like you, I am very curious as to what games they're gonna have available for you to play. I mean,
right.
I can see them, the box coming, standard with. I mean, they could pretty much have the entire 26 to 7200 library, like, and it won't even take up like a gig or something. So
7800.
7800. Yeah.
26, 52, and 7800.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay,
I had all of them.
Wow, you are an Atari trooper. That was a little bit before my time actually, but I could see them having that entire catalog just like standard with the box. It probably wouldn't take up like it'd probably take up like not even a gig.
A gig, a meg, maybe.
A meg, yeah, yeah.
That stuff was tiny.
Yeah, those are some tiny games. So I could see that coming standard with the box. But as far as their take on modern games, how is that going to work? Are they only going to have games that were licensed by Atari? Will like third party developers work with them? Like how Steam going to incorporate? Like
what platform is this going to be running? Is my question. Do they have their own platform that they're going to bring in third party like EA and all those guys? I doubt it.
Yeah.
So what platform are they running? My guess, my money is on Steam box.
Okay.
If you ask me, it's going to be a PC box.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm assuming. But the Steam box failed.
Yeah,
the Steam box failed. It was not as marketable for Valve as just selling the software.
I thought the price was too much. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why.
And a lot of people that want Steam boxes, or like use Steam, already have a PC that that they use Steam for.
Exactly, and they don't want to spend $500, $600, $700 on a prefab because, to be quite honest, we talked about this before. A lot of the people that play on PC gaming rigs, they build their own rigs.
Right.
And they think, well, I'm not going to spend $500 on a box to connect to my TV when I can build one for half that.
Right.
Or $300. So it doesn't make sense for them to have the Steam box. It was a bad market. It wasn't going to capture console makers because it was a little too complicated for the main console crowd. I mean, if the console crowd wanted PC gaming, they would buy a PC.
Exactly.
So, Yeah,
So
it'd be interesting, depending on the price point and what they actually do with it. If they make it a Steam box, but they keep it along console prices, $200-300, they may have a hit.
Yeah. I can see that that working like a modern like a Steam box for about $200-300.
Right.
Play your favorite games and then also get some classics. I can see that working.
Right.
And this could just pave the way for that Dreamcast 2 that everybody's been harping about.
Damn it, Sega! Dreamcast was so good, man.
Dreamcast was so good. Yo, the dream is never dead. It's still thinking. It's still thinking. It's thinking. Do you remember that those ads? Those are some crazy ads, man. That marketing campaign was fantabulous over here in the US.
And it was such a great console. It just sucks that they just had no support, and that's Sega's own fault.
Of course. So let's hope that the Atari box takes off so that we can get the Dreamcast too. That's like my only hope from this, honestly. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story, and we're talking about O's favorite company again, good old Nintendo. What we got?
Nintendo Switch voice chat app was released. That was released, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Very close to the Splatoon 2 release, mainly because Splatoon 2 is probably almost necessary for Splatoon 2. But the chat app was released, iOS and Android. It allows you to invite people to your games, do voice chat. It also allows you to set up controls. So if you have a child that has a Switch, you can set up controls on their particular device, how long they can play it, see what they're doing, they're good parenting stuff. But it didn't launch without its issues. The biggest issue or the biggest problem with the app, and I find this freaking hilarious. When you're using the voice chat app, it has to stay open, and your phone must remain unlocked. So that's if you switch apps, say you got a text message and you want to check that text message, you lose voice chat. So
yeah, it's very bad. I mean, I bought the Switch. I do not have the chat app. I don't have it. I don't plan on getting it. I mean, it's just so unconventional. It's like who thought of this? Like this was I don't know, man. This just harpens back to what we were talking about before. Like, is it really worth all the trouble that it's worth? I mean, god dang, you got to go through all of this freaking crap just to get these like features that have
basic features.
I mean, Xbox has had party chat in a limited capacity back on the original Xbox. With like games like Halo 2 and all that jazz.
And PlayStation 2 had it too. For SOCOM, they have voice chat.
Yeah, then you still got the friend code thing going on. This is bad. I don't know.
This is the problem with them. I understand what they're doing with the Switch. It is not the most powerful, but it's supposed to be the most accessible. But these are the problems you have. The only logical explanation for this is that the Switch can't run a game and the chat app at the same time. It's not able to, if it's either not powerful enough or just the software doesn't have the ability to run multiple apps, to do multi apps. Whatever the reason is, it's a bad idea, because not only that, if you're a child, if you're 12, you're 13, you're a 10-year-old, I guess in today's time you may, but most of them don't have phones.
No.
To use this. So where you gotta go get mom and dad's phone, that's not gonna go over well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bad design choice altogether. I mean, it would be cool if this was some kind of like companion app, which everybody has these days. Right. You have the Xbox app on your phone and on PC. You have the PlayStation app on your phone. I don't think they have a PC version. Or at least I don't use it. But I mean, yeah, as a companion app, this could be something cool. But I mean, number one, you have to have your phone like on. You have to have it in the app, and you can't like the screen has to be like on. Like you can't freaking have your like screen go away. It has to be like live on the app.
Yeah, if your screen locks, you lose connectivity.
Yeah, it's so dumb, man. And I went into the App Store because I thought I was gonna need it. I went in there, I read some of the reviews, and apparently, like, if you have the thing, like, on or something like that, running in the background, it, like, keeps your freaking alarms from going off or something like that. I don't know. It's just weird all around. Nobody appears to be happy with this.
No.
And we talked about it back when they released the picture of how it's supposed to plug in. Like you have the headphones go into some kind of adapter, and then the adapter.
That was that Hori.
The Hori headpiece.
Yeah, because they were making a workaround so it plugs into the phone and then into the Switch at the same time. So the second problem with that is if you're using a chat app, you have your headphones on, you're not getting the game audio.
No.
And Hori made that headset where it plugs into both your phone and the Switch. So if you run the headset, you get the game audio and the chat at the same time. That's why Hori's thing is all convoluted.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that seems to be the only way that you can get both game audio and chat audio in your ears at the same time. There's no other way.
Is problematic. Is
to say the least.
nice way to say that is junk.
Is junk. So the moral of this story is get Discord. Go ahead and download Discord and use that to talk to your friends. I mean that's how I played Splatoon 1 back on the Wii U. I had my followers on my Twitch channel go to Discord, and that's where we were able to talk and all that.
Right.
So use Discord. Like that's really all I can say. Pro tip: use Discord, and then it just makes me so mad that that Nintendo is going to charge for online in 2018. Sometime next year, you're gonna have to pay $20 a year for online, and it's like they don't even have a freaking chat option on the console. So
I'm less annoyed at that just because $20 a year is nothing considering you pay 3 times that for Xbox and PlayStation.
I guess.
And it makes sense for
Xbox and PlayStation don't got friend codes.
That's what I was going to say. It makes sense that it's a third price because they have a third of the features, right?
Yeah, a third of the fucking features. Yeah, so yeah, just I don't know. They're gonna have to come up with something else because this isn't gonna work. This is terrible.
I don't think they will. I think Nintendo still has the execs, the people that's calling the shots, still have a problem with online gaming.
I don't know but why. It's so weird because they had these features in other games, like on the DS. I was able to voice chat through the DS in Mario Kart with O. That's how me and O played Mario Kart together. We race against each other when you're talking through the DS. You can talk to your opponent through the 3DS on Pokemon. So they're not like strangers to it.
Right.
They just, for some reason, don't want to implement it fully. They don't want to just open the floodgates and allow you to talk to whoever you want to and to mute anybody that you don't want to talk to. It's all about them protecting the kid. They don't want nobody's kids to get into a Splatoon room with a 35-year-old and get cursed at. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to avoid there. But I mean, you have parental controls. If let's say somebody tries to friend request you, like I can get a ping on my phone, like, oh, somebody's trying to add my son as a friend. Then I can be like, yo, who's this? Is this your friend? Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. That's called being a parent. That's called that's how you protect kids from getting like bashed online. You know what I'm saying? You be a parent. It's not Nintendo's job to protect people from the internet. Right. Because it's damn near impossible.
It's not possible.
It's impossible. And with these, stripping away these basic features that were prominent 10, 12 years ago is bad for business for people like me that play video games and like Nintendo software.
They want that seamless the seamless interaction. You don't want to have to go and third-party apps. You got to go to Discord, and you got to go here, you got to go there. It's just too much of a hassle. You just want to be able to pick it up, press a couple of buttons, invite your friends, talk to them, and play. That's what you want to do. But Nintendo doesn't seem to want people to do that. And I wonder if it's because maybe the Switch can do it, and it's just not finished yet.
Yeah, that could be another thing. Like maybe this is just a holdover until they actually get it going. I mean, because if you look at the menu, it's ugly, dude. It's barren. It's a barren wasteland of just boxes
missing. And there's no. Are there any streaming service on it? There's none, right?
Hell no, dude. There's not even like a watch videos. There's not even a browser that you can get to legitimately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
there you go.
There you go. Nintendo Switch, like just not quite there. 3 steps forward, like 5 steps back. I don't know what's going on with these guys.
It's a work in progress.
Work in progress. Yes, needs work. Under construction. All right, let's move on to the next story. What we got?
The Creators Corner. I don't know if you remember this. This was announced at it's actually a GDC. They announced the Creators Corner, and basically what it is, it's like what was it called? ID at Xbox on Xbox 360. It's basically an indie marketplace for Xbox One. I actually have it. I went in there. There's 6 games available. I mean, they're indie games. They're not horrible. They're not great. A couple of them are, 3 of them are free. One is $2.99, one is $3.99. I think the other one is $4.99.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's basically going to be Microsoft's ID at Xbox. And what's great about it is any developers, anybody can get in and develop the game. You can add the Xbox Live sign-in to it. You can add what else? I don't think you can do. At least they didn't mention achievements, but I would think it is. But you can integrate Xbox Live sign-in, social features, and under the Universal Windows platform. So if you make this app a Universal Windows game, it'll show up in the Microsoft Windows Store as well as here in the Creators Corner.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
That's super cool, especially for small indie developers. Another place for them to put their game. And what's nice about it is that they only have to develop it for one time for Microsoft. So if you make it under the Universal Windows platform, you follow the proper parameters. Once you load it up into the store, it's going to show up here in the Creators Corner. It's going to show up on the Microsoft Store, on any Windows device, be it a laptop, desktop, the 2 phones they still have out in the wild,
yeah,
and the Xbox itself. So I think that's pretty cool. I just hope, and remember, ID at Xbox became a hot mess with all of the junk people were just throwing in there. But I hope it's better curated this time, and that we're not just getting a bunch of fart games or other bull crap.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to jump into. Like, the indie section on the 360 is a cesspool of garbage.
Yes.
It is a bunch of garbage games, and a lot of the indie titles that could have been there were kind of just like swept up.
They were buried away. Yeah.
No. They were swept up by Microsoft and made like official Xbox Live Arcade games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, there's an indie game called Dust: An Elysian Tale. It's a indie game made by one person, and instead of being, I think he may have initially thought to put it in on the Xbox indie section, but Microsoft caught wind of it. This is pretty good. We'd like to publish it for you, and then it became an official like Xbox Studios product. Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be more of that. Honestly, I mean, it'll give people the opportunity to put their games on the marketplace for either download for free or for purchase. But at the same time, it's scouting. It's scouting for talented developers and studios that they can possibly work out some kind of deal with, like, hey, we'd like to publish this game, hey, we'd like to give you a little bit more exposure, would you like for that to happen? Right.
And that's good, because I mean, all the great games don't always come from the AAA or the giant studios. So that's good. Get their titles out there. Like I said, the only thing I asked for this Creators Collection, because I bought several of the Idea Xbox games because when it first opened up, the marketplace wasn't too bad. There was some decent games in there. They were pretty easy to find. But after a
lot of cool like little Avatar games. I remember those.
After a little while, though, it became a cesspool, like you said. I just hope for better curation, because not only is it going to help the experience for me as a consumer, it's going to help the experience for the developers, because if there's a bunch of junk in there, people just won't go in there. So what's the point in putting your title in there? So
people go to the People go to the indie section on the 360 for the lulls, and
For
that's
the
about
lulls?
for the lulls, and that is it. Somebody will there's channels dedicated to just spending $4 or $5 on an indie Xbox 360 game and just playing it and just being like, what the hell is this? I actually thought about doing it myself. I was like, I'm not gonna give these guys my money. Forget that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Right?
Yeah, but yeah, in my opinion, this is more of like a scouting initiative. They're most likely going to be looking out for some really talented people, hoping that they will push their games through the Idea Xbox window, and then maybe scooping them up if it's good enough.
If it's worthy.
Yeah, because I miss the arcade section, man. I miss that. I really do. The Xbox Live Arcade was probably one of like my favorite places to go on the 360, especially during the summer, because like all of the games would like come out like once a month or whatever, or once or twice a week or something. You would just have like a summer of arcade games, and it was a really good campaign, and I got some really cool games out of it too. So
yeah,
hopefully we can get back to something like that. I'm okay with AAA games or whatever. I'm okay with that, but sometimes I just want me a side scroller. Sometimes I just want me a platformer or a beat 'em up or something.
Right.
And there really hasn't been a place for that in the current console market. It really hasn't been a place for it. On Steam, those things are a dime a dozen.
Right. The AAA studio, the big studios that publish them for the consoles, is not enough money in it for them, so they're not doing it. But
yeah.
Hopefully, with this creators collection, we'll start seeing some of that stuff. At least just some of the games from Steam just start flowing over to the Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, we saw some of the announcements. A lot of the
a lot of the games they showed.
A lot of the indie games. Steam games.
Yeah.
So here's to more indie games and indie developers being on the Xbox platform. I am a fan of this, and we'll see what happens next.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Boogie's favorite company strikes again. What we got?
We got some Pokemon. I say Pokemon news. It's Pokemon Go mainly, but there's another story we have in here that's not necessarily Pokemon Go. It's not Pokemon Go at all. But this weekend at Grant Park in Chicago was the Pokemon Go Fest.
Oh man.
What the hell is that? A bunch of people paid I think it was $100 a ticket to go into a park and play Pokemon Go with each other.
Oh my God! What? $100?
Yeah, something like that.
Man, I would have been outside the park on the outskirts, just with a selfie stick.
Yeah, there was like special gems and special stuff that they could get and so on and so forth. But they were out there, and and the main thing that was going on was it was going to release their first legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So that's done. The way it was supposed to work, at least the way it was announced, was leading up to the event or the day of the event, which was Saturday. People will catch Pokemon, and if you hit an undeclared number, they will have a epic raid battle at the park with the people participating at the park. And if the people at the park beat the legendary Pokemon, they will immediately get an egg for the Pokemon, and everybody else around the world within 24 to 40 hours will be able to get the Pokemon out of gyms. They had some severe technical difficulties where essentially they couldn't play the game, and so they just released the legendary Pokemon.
Just like at launch. Do you remember the Pokemon Go launch? I think it was busted.
Yeah, it was busted. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. They just didn't have enough servers, and it's the same thing. They didn't have enough capacity for the amount of people that was there. The good thing about all of the issues, they pretty much refunded everybody all their money.
Oh wow!
They gave them in-store credits, so for Pokemon Go credits.
And $100 to get you a lot of incubators.
Right. So they did at least make good on it. Hopefully they learn their lesson, and next time they do it, they'll have it done right. But on top of that, they are given. So the legendary Pokemon, you said what it was. What was it?
Lugia?
Yeah, Lugia is the legendary Pokemon that came out. That's going to be available. And then the next legendary Pokemon has been announced, and it's because Team Mystic apparently did so well during the event or around the event. The next legendary Pokemon is going to be their mascot, which is
Team Mystic.
Team Mystic, right?
Yeah, that's Articuno.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. So that's going to be coming, and yeah, so you got good Pokemon legendaries. You got 2 of them. One out. They said 48 hours from yesterday, so starting Monday. If you're a Pokemon Go player, go ahead to your local gym, have some gym battles, and if you do it, I think if you win, I think it's the raid. I'm pretty sure it's the raid. I have to go back to look. But if you win, you will get a legendary egg to hatch your legendary Pokemon. Now, the legendary Pokemon will not be allowed to hold gyms, but they will be allowed to compete in the raid battles and gym battles as well.
Okay, well, that is cool for all the people that are still playing it. I mean, they're definitely, keeping their core engaged. I mean, they're releasing new stuff. They have these events going on, and now you got legendaries. So,
and from the looks of the Twitter feed, if you went and just did a search on the Pokemon Go Fest, and you looked at pictures and stuff from Grant Park, there's a lot of active players. I mean, there was people packed in there still waiting outside in line. It was packed, packed.
I'm sure. I mean, it's still a popular game. I mean, it definitely fell off from where it was last year, but I mean, it still has a super active player base. So strong community, and I don't see it dying down unless Niantic just gives up.
Yep. They're making too much money to give up.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then the last thing, this is not Pokemon Go related, but if you're a Minecraft player and you're a Pokemon fan, you may know of Pixelmon. And basically, it was Pokemon built onto a Minecraft server. They got the cease and desist.
Oh no!
From I guess it came from the Pokemon company, not necessarily Nintendo, but it came from the Pokemon company. Cease and desist. So they're no longer going to support any updates for that particular Minecraft mod. It's still out there on the internet. It's always going to be out there on the internet. But what you have now is what you have. Developers sent out a letter, or they made a post, and just letting everybody know they got to cease and desist, and they are going away.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you make a fan created content using Nintendo properties. You run the gambit of getting that cease and desist in the mail, and Nintendo is not above actually taking you to court.
No. If they tell you to stop.
You better stop. Yeah,
because you will be in court.
You will be in court, and Nintendo has done it before. We've talked about it on this podcast before. Yeah. So I'm not sure how old Pixelmon is.
It was 4 years, I think.
4 years?
4 years. It's been out 4 years. They have I think they have about 250 or 260 Pokemon in the game or in the mod. But yeah, it was basically a Pokemon game in Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of, I don't know if does it suck. It's expected. I mean, it is what it is. But
with this being said, I mean, this has been going on for 4 years. A lot of the times, or what we've been seeing lately, is that when they send out the cease and desist on a certain project, that means that they're actually working on something very similar, and they don't want to, to cross contaminate the players. We saw that. Yeah, we saw that with the
Red Dead Redemption.
Well, no, I'm talking about on Nintendo side. We saw that with the Samus Metroid 2. Another Metroid 2. That fan game got the cease and desist right after its release, and then they announced that they were doing something like that. A Metroid remake on the 3DS. With the overwhelmingly popular game that is Minecraft, being on the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
They'll probably try to do something like that themselves.
Or it may be just that because it's on the Nintendo Switch, they don't want the Pixelmon, because remember now, outside of PlayStation 4, all of the Minecrafts are the same. So all of the mods that are available for PC, Xbox, and now Nintendo, you can play across them. Maybe they just don't want that Pokemon in there, have people think that Nintendo or the Pokemon company is making a Pokemon for Minecraft.
Yeah, or that's available. They just don't want that played on other hardware.
Or other devices. Yep, that's true too. So, This is another thing I want to say about this. This seems to me to be pushing Minecraft more from a game to more of a platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So because I mean, there's tons of mods. I mean, if you go search Minecraft mods, I mean, people are very talented. They're very good with it.
I mean, I've seen a mod where not only did they just, kind of like this situation where they recreated or created a Pokemon world in Minecraft. Somebody actually recreated the actual Game Boy version of Pokemon
on a Game Boy.
I seen playing that. On a Game Boy
in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, like I don't know how it's possible. It's like some game Inception type shit. It was pretty freaking crazy.
Did you see, a couple of years ago somebody made a cell phone that was able to call people?
I saw that. Yeah, I mean, somebody ordered pizza or some shit.
Right, people are really good at doing stuff in there. So it makes sense. That Nintendo will want to protect, especially like you said, since Minecraft is now on the Switch. So, yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. Do not use Nintendo properties for your fan games. We've said it once, and we'll say it again.
Unless they say you can, which we mean,
get permission. Yes.
Which is like next to impossible. So you just don't use it.
Just don't use it. When it comes to Nintendo, just leave those guys alone. Yep. Just support them by buying a Nintendo Switch.
And all of the plastic accessories.
Yeah, and all the freaking plastic. Oh, God, the accessories are so fucking expensive, man. I have so much Nintendo plastic in my house right now. It doesn't make any damn sense. Oh, and I wasn't too salty about it because everything that was on the Wii was also compatible with the Wii U. But now I just have a whole bunch of crap in here now.
Right. Yeah.
Because none of that stuff is compatible with the Switch. It's a little disheartening.
Not looking for it, to be quite honest. I'm not looking for it. I'm not like I said.
You know how much money GameStop is going to give you for a Wiimote? None. That's how
50 cents? A nickel?
A nickel. Freaking. Oh man. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our last story in the top 5. What do we got?
We had at one point been doing these for monthly. We kind of stopped doing them, but the NPD numbers came out. And I just want to talk about it a little bit.
Cool.
The past 2 months has been Sony PlayStation. Sony PlayStation 4 has taken the title back. And you said, wait a minute. Doesn't Sony PlayStation always have the title? Or was Microsoft winning? No. Nintendo Switch, when it came out, the first 2 months of its availability, April and May, was top. March and April was the top selling console. And in May and June, Sony has taken that mantle back. Microsoft is just trailing back there. Just, I'm coming, guys. So, Sony's PlayStation 4 is the top selling console in North America yet again. And it's probably going to be the top selling console at least going into the holiday season. I'm willing to bet money that if Nintendo was able to keep up with this demand, they would be the top selling console right now. And Microsoft is more than likely taking a hit. And not saying that they would be the top selling console, but their console is not selling as well. Mainly, I would say they're taking a hit because they have their new console coming out.
Yeah,
people that are on the fence to buying Microsoft consoles. Same thing I did last year where I had the Xbox and I was thinking about buying the PlayStation. I just waited until the PlayStation Pro became available. And I'm sure there's people out there that are doing the same with the Xbox, where they're like, well, I want an Xbox, but I might as well just wait for the new one to come out.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see a skew or like a change in those numbers post launch for the Xbox One X.
I would be interested to see how much of a change it is. I know normally when these numbers come out, and this is part of the reason we've kind of not been reporting them, is because Sony has been notorious for taking jabs when the numbers come out. They haven't been doing it.
They bask in these numbers normally.
Yeah, they haven't been doing it lately. And Nintendo is normally hush hush. You don't really hear much from Nintendo. Microsoft actually just had their earnings call recently, and a couple of things that came out is that the Xbox revenue was up, but it was up because of their software and services, and an increase in Xbox Live subscriptions. They specifically mentioned that hardware revenue dipped almost 30%, and they cited a lower cost of the box because they did drop it from down to $249,
right?
And they cited lower sales. Lower consoles being sold, less consoles being sold. So they weren't mum on the fact that they're not selling as many Xboxes, but it doesn't seem to be really bothering them, considering that overall the Xbox division's revenue and earnings are up.
Right. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. You know, all those like episodes back about Xbox trying to future-proof themselves and like maybe stepping away from being like an actual console and being more of like a platform.
Right.
We talked about this many times, and it's things like the Games for Gold. It's things like backwards compatibility, and just recently they announced that you're going to be able to put your damn near 10-year-old freaking original Xbox games into your Xbox One, and it will run that thing.
Right.
Like that is going to be a thing in the near future. This is all to just appeal to not only just people that have been with Xbox for so long, but to appeal to people that may not necessarily be like big on consoles. They try to make themselves more and more like let's say like Steam or whatever.
Right.
It's future proofing. Because I said this, like I'm not sure what the next console cycle is going to be like, if there even is going to be one.
I think we're moving into the cell phone cycle where it's going to be incremental changes. I know there's a rumor of the PlayStation 5 coming in 2000. I think it was Michael Pachter who's assuming that it's going to come in 2019. But I don't know. My thing is, it gets to a point where the hardware outpaces the software, and I think we'll get into that point because, to be quite honest, for the PlayStation Pro and even the Xbox One X, the only big feature for them is being able to the higher resolution.
Higher resolutions, yeah. 4K.
It's not as if the boxes weren't powerful enough for developers to make these outstanding, huge, beautiful, very immersive games. That's not the problem. So, the days of needing new hardware every so often, I think, is going the way of the dodo, and especially with Microsoft and their push to the Azure cloud computing and the cloud services. Not necessarily for the storage, but just the cloud computing. They're pushing that pretty hard behind the scenes on the enterprise, and I'm pretty sure they're still pushing it with developers. Saying, hey, look, we can do so much more if we let our cloud do some of the processing. The box doesn't do as much.
Right.
Your game could be amazing. The biggest impediment to that right now would be the networks, internet connectivity, because you still need a robust network, internet connectivity to do that. So as internet connectivity grows and matures out and becomes faster, more stable, I wouldn't be surprised if you see more cloud computing services or more cloud computing running these systems as opposed to having to buy these new robust boxes.
Right, yeah, because I remember they talked about games running off of the cloud. I remember specifically Crackdown 3 was supposed to be like this game that just ran off the cloud and allowed for all of this mass destruction to the city and whatnot. And while we haven't really heard a lot more about that, I can imagine that behind the scenes they're definitely still trying to make that push that forward and go forward with that instead of coming out with a new box, just taking some of the processing like alleviation off of the console itself, and just leaving it up to the cloud.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, those are the numbers. I would dare to say that Sony will probably be number one selling console until Christmas sales start.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch is very popular, but they just can't keep up with demand, and their problem is
can't or won't.
No, they can't, because from my understanding, I've been reading and listening to a lot of other tech podcasts. The issue Nintendo is having is that they share components with Apple, and Apple has the market. Apple has the market pretty much cornered. So a lot of these factories that are producing these parts that Nintendo needs, they produce them from Apple too. So they add capacity, and Apple gets it first. I mean, because Apple orders so much. You can sell 8 million Nintendos. You're not selling 40 million. Apple's selling 40 million phones, 40, 50, 60 million phones a year. So I mean, they own their corner of the market. That apparently is the issue with Nintendo and their supply crunch, is that they just can't get all their parts that they need.
Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you want a full, detailed explanation of the NPD numbers and everything that includes, the link will be in the description as well as in the show notes. So you can check that out if you want to. But we're going to move on to our next segment, which is the long form. And the long form is basically just a topic that we like to take a deep dive into. And this week we're going to be talking about milking nostalgia.
Oh, Nintendo, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Nintendo, yeah. We're going to be talking about milking nostalgia. Kind of like goes hand in hand with what we talked about earlier with the N64
right,
mini.
Yeah, the
possibly classic or whatever. Right. Classic most likely being a thing. Mm-hmm. But it's something that we talked about, me and a couple of my friends over at Infinite Inventory, O and Reggie, as well as Mount Lover, while we were in Vegas for Evo. We were looking at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and just kind of saying like, well, I mean, I don't know. Like at this point, it just seems like they're just milking nostalgia. I mean, this is a franchise that came together when like nobody thought that it was a possibility. I mean, this was like a lot of people's dreams, come true. I mean, you have Ryu and you have Cyclops in the same freaking battle,
right?
In the same game, going at each other, and it's a legacy franchise. And with all of the changes to the roster that we've been seeing, the removal of Marvel characters like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, with the possibility of them becoming DLC characters, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like you're taking what we want, what we love, and you're just like putting it behind like a paywall. Well, a lot of people. Go ahead.
I see that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite issue is less to do with them trying to put stuff behind the paywall. I think that's just a licensing issue. I think because Fox, possibly. If you think Fox, they're bastards. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are a bunch of bastards, and I just think the problem with the X-Men not being in that Marvel vs. Capcom game is simply because of Fox and their licensing demands. That's it. I don't think it's anything other than that. If you listen to the way the developers talked about it, you can see it was kind of painful for them to say, "Yeah, we're releasing this game without the X-Men," because
they were saying some really weird stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't agree with. Like, does anybody necessarily remember the X-Men? I was like, what? Right. The X-Men, gave life to the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Right. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's just that's when you hear stuff like that.
That's them PR bullshit.
Yeah, they're trying to downplay that not being there, not because they don't want them in there. It's because they're having a hard time securing it. Okay. I'm not going to fault them on that, but I will fault people like Nintendo. You know who's the worst offender? Not even Nintendo. The worst offender is the goddamn Sony. They are the worst. How many times are they going to release God of War? How many Uncharted? How many Last of Us? How many times they're going to release, what's the stupid game with the electric hand dude?
Infamous?
Yeah, Infamous. How many? Yeah. I mean, come on. How many times are you going to re-release these games? God of War for PlayStation 3. God of War for PlayStation 4. Give me a goddamn break.
Yeah. I am not a fan of the re-release or the remastering of certain games, especially if they are from the very previous console cycle. I'm not a fan of that at all, which is why, while I did get the Switch, there was an opportunity for me to purchase, a plethora of games, including some great hits like Mario Kart 8 again for full price. Like that is a problem that I've had ever since I heard of it. But I don't know, like milking. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the Final Fantasy VII is coming back out. I mean, give me a break. The game is, 15 years old.
Man, and they've been like,
it wasn't even that good of a game.
Oh, you're hurt, dude. You are starting some wars right now.
Let me tell you something.
Debate him. 7, don't debate me on that top. Debate Todd.
Final Fantasy 7 is a good game, right?
Okay. But
Final Fantasy 7's greatness comes in its nostalgia, not in the game itself.
Okay, yeah.
People remember the game as being it's super great. It's a very good game. It shouldn't be way up on the pedestal that it is. There were better games.
I ain't touching that shit, man.
There were better games than that. I mean, I just. And the company sees on that. They seize on that. Like, people loved Final Fantasy, and they want another Final Fantasy 7. They want another game like Final Fantasy 7. They can't make another game like Final Fantasy 7, so they bring that game back out. But
remember when everybody thought that E3 announcement where everybody thought that it was going to be a remake and it was actually just re-releasing the game on PS4? That was funny. I saw some hearts break in that crowd over there.
Right, because they had released it on PlayStation 3, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I
thought it was in. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure they released that on every system. They will continue to release that on every system until the day we all die. But it's just stuff like that is just annoying. Especially it reminds me of like movie studios, and at least the movie studios go through the effort of try to remake it.
Yeah, they actually have to like redo stuff.
Right, but it's
reimagine stuff.
It's the same thing where they just take an old content and just put new makeup on it and releasing it to the masses. It's just whatever, man.
Yeah, and more on the point of the mini consoles or the classic consoles that Nintendo have been re-releasing. I mean, how many times have we purchased these games? I mean, not only do some people currently still own those consoles and the games that may or may not be included in the list, but I mean, we've had the virtual console for 3 generations now. Right. Well, no, I don't. Is there a virtual console?
Was it on
Switch? Yeah, it was on. Well, I know it's on Wii and Wii U.
VC on the Switch. It's just kinda, there's a VC on the Switch. It's either not complete and there's only a few games on it, or it's coming soon. But there will be a VC on the Switch.
Okay, so this will be the 3rd generation of virtual console. But then they still want you to go out and buy these classic consoles. I mean, How many times do you want to resell the same content?
And the worst thing about the virtual console is if you bought games on the Wii, they didn't transfer to the Wii U. You had to buy them all over again. That's nuts.
That right there is nuts. I was very salty about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Final Fantasy 7 before, because I know I touched a sore spot, but it was only PlayStation and PlayStation 4. It didn't hit PlayStation 3.
No, that announcement was for PlayStation 4. Yeah.
It's on Windows, it's on iOS, it's on Android, so you can play it mobile. It's just like, I mean, you see stuff like the Rare Replay, and you see a lot of times some of these older games, you try to play with them, they don't age well at all. They don't age well. I just don't like that. Is less. I mean, there's new content, but all the new content is big, super AAA. You think of the Assassin's Creeds and your Anthems and your Destinies and your Red Dead 2, and it's all these big, huge, epic games. So there's very few of them at a time. You don't get the small, even not necessarily small. That would be like indie, but a medium-sized game that's pretty good. Instead of them doing that, they just go to the vault, dust something off. I'm like, well, this was popular, and let's release it and see what happens.
That's that Disney method, where they take it out of the vault. I remember seeing those commercials back in the day. Where it was like, we're bringing it out of the vault, and then once it's gone, it's gone. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Why wouldn't you just keep, the Lion King available for purchase forever in case I want to purchase it at another time?
You know how much of a killing they made?
So Nintendo, they hold a very powerful place in console gaming because it was Nintendo that got the market out of the that crash back in the 80s. Was it the 80s?
Yeah, it was after the 80s. Yeah,
yeah,
80s, the video game crash in the 80s.
Yeah. So it was Nintendo that revitalize the video game market. So they hold a very powerful place in console gaming. and so they have pretty much a stranglehold on the nostalgia bone.
Yeah.
Because we'll go like an entire console cycle without any kind of like game from a certain franchise, but as soon as it's announced, like the hype train is alive, like Metroid. I don't think we didn't get any Metroid games on the Wii U. I don't believe.
No. Well, you barely got anything on the Wii U. It didn't count. You can't.
No, it does count because it's a flagship franchise and we didn't get a game for it.
No, I'm talking about the Wii U doesn't count.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're 100% on that one. But yeah. So as far as milk and nostalgia is concerned, I think it's always going to be a thing. There's always going to be that one person that may have stopped gaming and like, oh, I remember that. I'll go spend 60, 80, however much money it costs to relive it.
That's why those classic consoles are so popular, because people that haven't gamed since they were kids, quite literally, see those games come out like, hey, I remember playing these on Christmas Day. I remember playing these in the summer with my friends at my cousin's house or whatever, and they go out and buy this little console because it's $50, $60. They just plug it into the TV and don't have to do anything else with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately, the milking of nostalgia will continue because it's lucrative. You can get a lot of people to spend money on something that doesn't cost you or the companies a lot of money to produce.
Right.
Because I can't imagine. I mean, they've come out with them so frequently. They're already making plans for the next one.
Yeah.
So
definitely. I think the next one should be the last one. I mean, to be honest, go ahead. I was going to say, to be quite honest, Nintendo isn't the only offender. Sony is just as bad.
Yeah.
But the thing with Sony is they're doing it with newer stuff, because Sony doesn't have the historic pedigree as Nintendo, the huge historic pedigree that Nintendo has. But yeah, they're doing the same thing.
Dude, if Nintendo put GameCube games on a virtual console, it's a freaking wrap, my boy.
I'm surprised they haven't done that already. I would have thought they would have done that already, but they're definitely they make scarcity, and they know how to capitalize off of that artificial scarcity.
Right,
for sure.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo for you. Your favorite company.
Yeah, Nintendo. Man, oh man, these guys, man.
But so that was our long form discussion. Sorry about the little interruption that we had there. We do apologize for it, but it comes with the territory. You have a live stream, a live podcast. Every once in a while, you're going to have some interruptions. So that's what that was. And we will strive to make sure it doesn't happen as often. Yeah. So I remember when we started, man, the interruptions were real. Constant. Like, I think for like a full, 2 months.
Yeah, for the full 2 months, we always had something.
We always had like at least one interruption.
Yeah,
and so we've been on.
We smoothed it out.
We smoothed it out. We've been on a pretty good streak. But it's time to set the days without interruption counter back to zero.
Back to zero. Yeah,
it's time to set it back to zero. But yeah, again, if you have anything that you would like to submit to us, a talking point for the long form discussion, you can do that via our social media or in the comment section on your favorite podcasting app or in the YouTube comments as well. So definitely hit us up. And we're going to jump into our final segment, which is the final thoughts.
Yep.
And this is the part where we go back, we revisit the stories that we talked about today and just give our final 2 cents on them. Boogie, why don't you go ahead and start us out?
Doomfist Thursday. Dust. I guess it's nice and dusted, so you just got to pop that in, and we're
oh yeah, we have to get in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will definitely update you once if I'm accepted into the beta. I will update you on what they have in it. Doom for $15. I think that's a definitely a steal, especially when you're getting free DLC. Nintendo 64 Classic. I mean, who knew?
We did.
The Atari box. I want to see more. It's a nice looking machine, but I want to see what it's actually going to do. Nintendo Switch's voice app. I mean, that's an abomination. The Creators Corner. I just want them to make sure that the content is better curated than it had been prior. Legendary Pokemon. If you're a Pokemon Go player, Legendary Pokemon is out or will be out tomorrow. The Pokemon Go Fest was essentially a disaster. But at least Niantic is giving people full refunds and as well as giving them some in-game content or in-game loot for their troubles. Again, third parties do not develop anything unofficially belonging to Nintendo or any of their subsidiaries or partners. You will get smacked around a bit. And PlayStation 4 being the number one selling console, they do have the games, and as long as they have the games, they will be the one.
The one. Yes, I agree with that 100%. As far as Doomfist, yeah, definitely. I dusted off the game the other day. So when I found it, I actually popped it into my PS4. I had a multitude of updates that I had to download. So I got that taken care of. I actually got a couple of matches in. And it doesn't feel too foreign, so yeah, we should be able to have a good time on that. I didn't sign up for the PlayStation update, but I'm curious as to what is going to be involved in it, and I can't wait for your report. We're gonna have a Boogie report once that is available.
PlayStation's on fire.
Yeah. So I had to ship my PlayStation back to Sony last week. No, but Doom for $15 is definitely a steal. It's reminiscent of the Game of the Year or the Platinum hits that we used to get back in the previous generation. So that's actually really cool. And what's even cooler about it is that even if you currently have the game, you're not left in the dark. You will get all of the DLC if you haven't already gotten it. So that's for more people like me. So I'm all about it. That's good. I wish other games would do the same. I wish other people would follow suit with this.
Yeah,
because we've had some like re-releases like in retail or whatever that include everything, but like if you bought it before, you're like expected to already have anything or have everything. Like not everybody buys all the DLC for every game, so that's actually really cool. N64 Classic. I'm waiting for somebody to pick up the phone because I fucking called that shit. And the Atari box is definitely a looker. I'm just waiting for games or what's going to be available with it. That's what I'm waiting for. The Nintendo Switch voice chat app is basically a sign that you should go ahead and install Discord. It's available on both on mobile, that you can actually have the screen off. So even if you wanted to use your phone to talk to people, Discord does it better. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch app is a big old advertisement for Discord, in my opinion. Go ahead and download it. Link to my Discord server will be in the description. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm on fire, boys. What's it called? The Creators Corner. I'm hoping that they scoop up some really cool indie games and indie game developers and put them under the Xbox Microsoft Studios umbrella, instead of just allowing the indie section to become like a cesspool. Like I would rather them just like let them run amok and just scoop up the good ones than to try. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be really hard to filter everything out. I really feel like it's gonna be hard, especially in the years to come. I feel like it's going to be inevitable. You're going to get some crap in there. I mean, just judging by the pictures, we already got somebody making money off of, what's that, Solitaire or something like that?
That game is free.
Okay, actually. So that's a free one. Okay, all right, good. But yeah, hopefully we get some cool stuff out of there. Hopefully we get some really cool stuff that gets scooped up and, made for purchase for like an arcade section. I want them to bring back the arcade section. That would be really cool. Nice. And as far as the legendary Pokemon go, Lugia is cool. I don't know. I don't play the game anymore, so it doesn't really matter to me. And as far as the MPD numbers, I have all 3 current generation consoles at this very moment. So those numbers, I don't care who's winning because I own all of them.
Right. I'm winning.
I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm in the lead. I won the console war. I own all of them. And the winner of the console war is Trenell. There we go. But yeah, let us know what you guys think on this story, whether it was the first or the last, anything in between. Let us know what you think. We would love to engage in these conversations with you guys, because that's what this podcast is all about. It's about engaging in conversation with you guys. We do this live so that we can read, because we're reading your comments. You guys post in the comment section. We are reading it, and sometimes we'll respond, subliminally we'll respond or whatever. But yeah, in the comment section, let us know because when somebody posted use Discord, I was like, yeah, I'm about to go into that right now. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, definitely let us know what you think, because we about to debate, my boys. We about to go in, because that's
Final Fantasy VII sucks.
Oh my God! Stop! Stop! Oh my God! So this will be our last episode. We want to thank you. No, I'm just kidding. We like to have fun on the Weekly Gaming News Show. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before we do, I want to give one last shout out to our sponsor, the New Challenger Discord. Head on over to newchallenger.gg for more information. And a big shout out, I forgot to say this before, but a huge shout out to our homeboy, Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the New Challenger Discord, and also to our good friend, Mount Lover, who is an admin on the Discord. He's actually also a coach for Street Fighter V, and he is a commentator for all of their tournaments. He's a very, very talented guy. Mount Lover, aka Yama, that's the homie. Shouts out to those guys. But we are going to go ahead and bounce out our current schedule. Sundays,
7 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Yes, Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, with the videos actually going live on YouTube and on the podcasting apps the next day, on Monday, at 12 noon. And speaking of podcasting apps, Boogie, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to us on the go?
We're on iTunes. We're on in the Google Play Store. We're on TuneIn Radio. And if you use any kind of podcatcher, Overcast. Or if you're using the podcasting app on your Xbox or any other place, we are in the podcasting directory. You can search us using our call letters, AWGNS, or you can type us out at Weekly Gaming News Show. Download, listen on your way to work, on your way to school, wherever you may be going.
Well, when you go back to school, I mean, it's summertime, so
people got summer school.
Yeah, on your way to summer school, listen to the podcast. Yeah, that's
while you're in summer school.
Or while you're in summer school, you got there for a reason, right? No, let me stop. Oh, we got the chuckle. We got the chuckle. Yes, we got it. We in there. We're funny. No, but yeah, hit us up on our social media. We are on Twitter at AWGamingNS. We're also on Facebook, a Weekly Gaming News Show, or AWGNS. Just type that in and you will be able to find us. And yeah, that will conclude episode 58. We want to thank you all for tuning in. Shouts out to the live chat. We really appreciate you guys. And we're going to get up out of here for the last time. This is the last time I'm going to say it. But my name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.